Hello everybody and welcome back to the latest Motorsport Manager video, where we're going to be starting the second race of the season in just a few moments time, where hopefully I will be getting a better performance from both my drivers than I did in the first race. If you remember, Faith Anthony managed to spin and crash the car on the third lap. Gomez did well to recover after being hit by another fellow driver named Tang, and actually managed to get back into a decent position at the end of the race and achieve our first sponsor objective. So hopefully here in the second race of the season we'll get both drivers firing today, and certainly Faith Anthony needs to put in a much better performance than she did in the last race. She's got luck on her side by finishing so badly in that race by crashing out on lap 3. She does actually get to start at the front of the grid for this race, but I do expect her to go backwards because the car's performance is not on par with the rest of the field at all. Already she's losing places, look. Okay, but Gomez is doing well. He's in 14th place. He's dropped back a little bit. I would expect Gomez to make up places though, as the cars in front of him are both running the medium compound tyre, so he should be on the faster tyre. Same for Anthony really. I would expect her to move up a position because of Beauchamp there being on the medium tyre, but we shall see. It's the early days. Start of the race, everybody's running, you know, pretty much high engine modes, aggressive tyre strategies. I don't know what sort of levels of fuel the other drivers are running at, so it's always difficult to make up ground at the start of a race in this series. That's where it's important to get your pit strategies right and hope your drivers don't mess up. And I don't understand why Gomez is nearly second to last now in this race. He's had an absolute awful start. Let's just hope we can get through this next lap without losing a driver. That would be an achievement. And Anthony is stuck behind Tang. Now that's a bit of a worry, because if she gets past Tang, him being the crash-happy merchant that he is likely to end up running into her. So I'm a bit concerned about these two being so close on track, given her shambolic driving performance in the first race of the season. Let's have a look. Okay, we've started lap 3. This is it now. Come on, Faith, keep it together. Do not crash the car. Please, keep it on the tarmac today. Although, chances are, if a safety car comes out, it might benefit Gomez again like it did in the last race. Gomez is last. That is terrible. It looks like I've got one car running in this race then, like I had one car running in the last race. Don't think this track suits me at all though, to be fair. I struggled in practice getting the setup right. I think for now it's a case of switch Gomez's strategy, set him on to neutral, and just see if we can get him to run long on this stint. Get him to run a bit longer into the race, see if that can magic up anything. Anthony, we're just going to get her to thrash the tyres because she's going to run out of fuel long before she runs out of tyres. So she might as well be a bit aggressive on those. She is now on lap 4, of course, which is her best performance of the season to date. It says a lot when your drivers only manage to complete 7 laps in 2 races. Oh dear. I am looking, as I say, to replace her. If you caught the last video, I have made negotiations with another driver to bring in a young driver, a paying driver, which will be great for my team's finances. And I can hopefully demote her down to reserve driver, just to, you know, have a backup in case anything should go wrong with either of my two main drivers. Obviously Theodore Red, or whatever his name is, the current reserve driver, he's on his way out. He's crap. He's rubbish. There's just no point retaining him as a reserve driver because he'll never ever race, because he's got absolutely no skills whatsoever. And then it will be important to start producing maybe some bits for the cars, because my car is so woeful compared to the, you know, the average of the other cars in the series. I am so below everybody in terms of performance and reliability. I've really got to get a grip on that early on in the season. I know I don't have to push too hard because my objectives are fairly tame. I've only got to finish the season, what, in 9th place, but I would like to do that comfortably and not struggle to do it. So Anthony's not, well, she's kind of, the fuel strategy I used at the start of the race, giving her a slightly lighter fuel load, has managed to keep her in the top 10, but she's not really making any roads forward, is she, on the cars in front of her? She's just kind of stationary in terms of track position. Again, the combination of fast tyres, light fuel load probably would work better if I had a car that had a bit more grunt to it. So we're going to switch her. We're going to keep her on the soft tyres. We are going to fill her up to the max now. Park condition, everything's okay. I'm going to leave it on a balanced pit stop. I'm not going to go for a fast pit stop just in case the wheels fall off. Don't want that happening at all. Gomez has got enough in his car and his fuel tank to run for another couple of laps, ideally. Anthony's dropping places. Oh no, she's got one back. Come on, the car in front of you's got some kind of mechanical issue. You should be getting past him into 6th place at least. Come on. I'm going to get Gomez to increase his strategy a bit, because I'm going to pit him shortly because his fuel's about to run out. So get him to burn up his tyres a little bit more. Going to put him on the mediums, I think, as he's loitering around at the back of the field. He's not going to, and just make him go long on this second stop. See if I can't push him up the field by just having him run longer than the cars around him, basically. And then put him on the fast tyres with a light fuel load at the end, maybe, and have him try and have a bit of a sprint finish, gain a few places. I mean, the good thing is I am well on course to achieve sponsors' objectives. I only have to finish 16th or above in this race. I took the lighter sponsors' objective at the start of the weekend. I don't make as much money by doing that, but at least the objective is more achievable. And it does mean I guarantee a bit of income from the weekend. So Anthony made her stop and has dropped all the way down to 18th. That wasn't a good pit stop then, was it? Plenty of fuel going in, all 4 tyres are on, and we're off. Back out on track, pretty much last, bar 1 car. He can be a little bit more aggressive, I suppose, on the medium tyres, because they are going to be a bit more durable, they are going to last a lot longer. They don't quite give him as much grip, so his lap times will be a little bit worse than when he was on the softs, but I can probably compensate from that by basically making him be a bit more aggressive. I can really do with the cars in front starting to make their stops now, just to rebalance the grid a bit, because at the minute kind of out of position because we've stopped and no one else has. Okay, there's a couple of cars making pit stops now, but not any that are going to affect my lap positions or race positions. Okay, it doesn't look like it's going to rain. We're not going to have to worry about the weather, I don't think, this weekend. Anthony's back up into 16th place, so sponsor's objective is currently being met. I would feel a bit more comfortable if she moved up the field a lot more, though. I don't think we'll be able to crack top 10 today, because this track and our car just ain't gonna work. Basically, we won't have the performance round here to be competitive with anybody. We kind of got lucky in the last race. Again, I'm slightly surprised we're on lap 9 and no one else has pitted yet. What are they doing with their fuel and tyres that enables them to go so much further than me? I mean, okay, yeah, again, starting out this career with the worst car imaginable, our fuel efficiency and tyre wear is not good. That is something I'm going to have to develop between seasons. Invest quite a bit of money in those areas of the new car each season, because ideally we want to try and get the most wear out of tyres as possible, so we can make fewer stops and better fuel efficiency, so we don't have to fuel up so many times. We can run longer between in stints, and also when we start getting into the series where there is no refueling, we could be a little bit more aggressive with our engine settings without having to worry about running out of fuel. I mean, admittedly, we're still going to have to do a lot of fuel saving in races when you can't refuel, but at least we'll be able to run quite aggressive for a couple of laps. We'll be able to run aggressive for a few laps longer than the opposition cars, which is the big thing. Those are the things I can do. They're achievable targets, certainly for the start of next season. This season it's going to be about trying to get the actual individual parts on the cars, like the engine, the gearboxes, the brakes and everything, get them up to a slightly higher level, so when I start next season I've got a better base to build on. Because I don't know if you saw in whether I covered it in the last video, the parts I've got on these cars now have got, you know, we're talking single figures for performance. You know, I think one of the cars is running a part which actually has 0 performance. That's woeful. You know, I'm guaranteed as soon as I build a part in each of the categories that I can build parts in, that part is going to be fucking light years ahead of what I've started with. You know, the first engine I build is going to be such a huge upgrade to these cars. Anthony's up to 12th, that's respectable. Gomez is also now in the top 16 as well, so he's meeting our sponsor's objective. You know, based on this performance, based on this, you know, I'd take this grid right now. If someone said, do you want to stop the race now and award points, I would be happy. In fact, actually, I'd be happier now. Now a couple of cars have made pit stops and I've got up to 10th. I would be very happy now. Yeah, stop the race, award the points, I'll take this. Both cars finishing would be nice. So Gomez has moved up to 15th, pretty good going. Some of the messages are a little bit delayed over when the action actually happens on the track. You may have noticed that. Like when I'm doing practice and stuff, you know, I'll send the car out the pits and I'll have done a lap and then it will say, driver is leaving the pit lane. It's like, he's been on the track, he's already done a lap. Okay, a couple more cars making their first stops. They've managed to go 13 laps before stopping. Okay, they started on the medium tyres, but I'm surprised that they've managed to go that far on fuel. They must have been really conserving. Those last few laps, they must have been on fumes. The good thing is, Tang is last. We don't have to worry about him crashing into us again at this point. Our drivers are well clear of him. We've got 16 laps remaining, so we're nearly halfway. We're nearly at the halfway mark of the race. Both cars are still running, which is great. Both drivers will be gaining experience, which is even better. Not that it really applies too much to Faith, as I don't plan on keeping her as a main driver, but it's nice for Gomez. And especially as he's such a young driver, we've got, you know, eyes on him being our future star. Unless, of course, the driver I'm looking to sign comes in and blows him out the water, and she turns out to be the person we want to put our investment behind. You know, put the brand on her shoulders. Looking at the lap times, Gomez a little bit slower than Dreyfus in front of him, but that's not bad because he is on the medium tyre after all. Anthony, again, a little bit slower than Chu, which is a bit concerning because she is on the faster tyre. I would expect her to be ahead, and now I'm going to put her on the mediums. Fuel her up. Park conditions. Oh, this is where reliability is looking pretty crucial. I'm probably going to have to fix some parts before the end of the race, I reckon. I reckon we're going to have some part issues before the end of the race. On both cars. Definitely. Again, he's got loads of tyre life left, so I'm going to get Gomez to push his tyres for the next 4 laps and then bring him in for his stop. See if he can't just maybe just meet that 11th place from Dreyfus. It would be nice. And of course Anthony is down in 16th now because of her stop. The field hasn't really spread out as much, apart from the guy obviously in first place who's run off into the distance, never to be seen again, and the guy trundling around in last place. The field's still quite close together, and again, pit stops and part fixes and stuff like that is really going to shake up the standings before the end of the race. So again, Anthony running around in 18th isn't too much of a worry at this point in time, because a lot of them cars are going to be stopping, and they're going to be stopping again, and they're going to be having to fix parts. because of the reliability issues that everybody seems to have at this early stage. She's going to end up taking 17th place back quite quickly here from the guy in front of her. Again, considering I pitted 2 or 3 laps ago, she's not got the tyres up to temperature yet. That's a bit of a worry. Gomez is absolutely nailing his, thrashing the life out of his. Is there any chance he can catch and pass Gerard in front of him? Because Dreyfus has got away from him now and actually moved up to 9th place. Okay, let's put him onto the mediums again. We haven't quite got enough fuel to get to the end of the race. And he's going to have serious part problems looking at that. So the next pit stop for him is going to be quite crucial. Ideally he's going to get to about, what, lap 27 I would think. I may want to bring him in just before that if I'm going to go for the part fixes, soft tyres, and let him thrash the car senselessly for the last few laps. Try and gain as many positions as he can when everyone else is coasting. But again, it's quite amazing that Gomez has just plodded along through the race, got himself up to 10th place, and Anthony, who started off, you know, second on the grid, has fallen all the way back to 18th. Shows the weakness of our drivers, because they've both got identical cars, so it's not a performance issue. Could be a setup issue, of course, because I haven't nailed the setups. That's something I've got to get to grips with before the next race. But the next race, I think, is, as I said in the last video, it's in Milan. It's at Monza, which is a pretty easy setup car course. Low downforce, you know, bit of oversteer for quick, fast position switching for the fast corners and the high-speed corners. Long gear ratios to get as much top speed as you can and let it run. Lower the tyre pressures a bit so you don't overheat the tyres. Change the camber angle maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it's easy to settle. I will absolutely nail the setup for that race. And I know I shouldn't be looking to that race before this race is finished, but realistically I'm 19th and 20th now. 19th and 17th should I say. That's not good. Gomez he's lost 9 places in that round of pit stops. Hopefully he'll move back up the field a bit. He is behind Tang though. Oh, that could be a worry. Those two did not like each other in the last race. Tang ran into Gomez, broke his wing, forced that early pit stop. Kind of recovered well when Anthony binned it into the wall and brought out the safety car. Again, I don't know why I'm changing. I maybe should have left him running pretty aggressive with his tyres. Same as her. Could get her to push more really with their medium tyres. The track's rubbering in well. Oh no, Gomez has got a mechanical issue. The icon's flashing. He's going to need some parts. He's going to need an engine and a gearbox. The two worst parts to go wrong in a race because they take the longest amount of time to fix in a pit stop. Oh dear. And it's far too early to think about bringing him in. There's still 9 laps to go. I want to try and eke out a little bit more of this run on the mediums before I push him onto the softs for the last leg. And if I pit him now, it's going to pretty much confine him to not being inside the sponsor's objective window. So push. Push your tyres. We need you to get a couple of laps, and then you're coming in. Okay. Anthony's doing well. She's back up to 13th. So sponsor's objective being achieved. Place now, good. 13th for Gomez, but he's going to get passed, I think, pretty quickly by that guy who's just, I assume, come out of the pits on the soft tyres. God, Faith's car's falling to bits as well. Suspension and gearbox on her end. Again, push your tyres. Push your tyres. You might as well make use of them because you will be coming in because we're going to have to fix those cars. Thing is, I get slightly thrown out because the lap counter at the bottom says lap 22 of 29, but my cars are only on lap 21. They're a lap down on the field, on the lead cars, I suppose. Gomez has got 7 laps left. If I brought him in now, put him on the softs, he could probably get to the end. He couldn't be too aggressive though on those first laps out of the pits because the tyres will go off very quickly. I'm thinking we have to go one more lap. I'm thinking we have to try and go one more lap. We've got to get a little bit closer because we need to be able to push on the tyres. Dreyfus has retired because of mechanical issues. Okay, we're going to pit Anthony first. We're not going to take the risk with the mechanical issues. So you can have a suspension and gearbox. Gomez moves up to 11th. A couple of cars at the back of the field are pitting, so that's going to be good. I will at least be able to come out in front of them as they've come in before me. And again, I think in future races I will be speeding up the time at certain points in the races, because I'm conscious of the fact this video is going on quite a long time. We're at pretty much half an hour now, and we've only covered the race in this episode. But again, it's quite crucial to manage the cars at this early stage of the season. Once I start getting into the swing of things, I can trust my cars are going to run reliably. I can pretty much set them up, and I won't have to micromanage them so much. Between pit stop windows, I can bring them in, do the stops, and then set the clock running, fast forward the race a bit, and then, you know, see how things pan out. Fix the engine. I've got to fix it. I've got to fix the engine and the gearbox. Come on. 69 seconds. It's going to take 69 seconds, a minute, to complete those repairs. That's bad. That is very bad. But a couple more cars are retired, including the race leader. That has got to hurt. 24 laps into the race and his car conks out on him. That's got to be bad. That's got to be painful for that team. But again, good for me. Guarantees I will finish at worst 18th. She's got excess fuel now, so I'm going to get her to really push up her engine mode. See if we can't get... I mean, that guy's nearly 10 seconds down the road in front of her. It's going to be tough to get Anthony back into the sponsor's objective window. Gomez is pitting for his incredibly lengthy stop. Engines and gearboxes, those are the crucial things. You really need to improve them as quickly as you can at the start of the season. The reliability on them especially, because repairing those in a race will absolutely kill you. It will absolutely wreck you. This is not... His stop's taking forever, look. By the time he gets out of the pit lane, he's going to have lost nearly a minute and a half. Yeah, a minute and a half, look, lost. Fixing the car. That's a lap, nearly. He has managed to come back out on track though in front of Valdez, which is impressive. Why is Gomez's car still blinking red at me? I've repaired it. So now we're well out of it now, because the lap counter says lap 27 or 29, but we're only running on lap 25. It's important to be aware of that when you're messing around with your engine modes, because you can actually look at the wrong lap counter and end up running out of fuel. We have to save the tyres. We're up to 14th and 15th though, so that's good. Again, the other cars pitting around us, like Jar and Dembele, means that both our cars are meeting out quite low sponsor's objective, but still, it's important to hit the sponsor's objective and keep money coming into the team, especially in your first season. Okay, so we're doing quite well. Anthony's leading the charge, 14th place with Gomez in front of her. 5 laps to go. And we've got another retiree in front of us. That's brilliant. That's another place we'll gain there. So that will move us up to 13th and 14th. Now we're guaranteed pretty much to be 2 more retirees, guaranteed to be in the top 16. So no matter what happens now, we're going to meet the sponsor's objective, so we can go a little bit easy on the car. We can't get any worse than 16th place. And Anthony's got issues again. Something else has gone. We've got parts failing on both cars. The brakes are at 30%. Can't afford to pit her again at this stage. I know she's got 2 laps to go, but can't afford it. Just go easy on your car. Go easy. The leaders should finish soon, and then that'll bring a race to an early end, so we won't actually have to complete all 29 laps, which will be a big help. Let's speed it up, let's fast forward it. I think we're going to finish 13th and 14th. Yes, we did. That's not a bad result. That's not a bad result in the second race. I'm pleased both drivers finished. And again, I'm pleased we picked up a healthy dose of points. So it'll be interesting to see how we go on from here in the next episode. Hopefully I'll be able to sign my new driver, which will be a great help to my future results. So for now, thank you all for watching. You know what you need to do now. Hit that like button, leave your comments, remember to subscribe. You've been a great audience. I'll see you all again very soon.